In this video, we're going to discuss viewports. Viewports are basically windows. Windows that can be used both in model space or on the model tab, as well as in paper space or on your layout tabs. Now down here you see that I have my additional layout tabs that we've created. I do have a couple extras. You can disregard those for now. I've created this one here, layout. Just by clicking the plus sign here, moving it over here, and clicking there, I already have a viewport. Again, this is not a polyline. If you hover, you see that it's a viewport. If this were a polyline, I'd have grips here at the midpoints, and additionally I could obscure or change the fact that this is a rectangle by messing with this corner grip. Cannot do that here. So what's going on is, again, this is a viewport. It's different. It has special properties. A couple other things to look at or to notice. Again, I am in a layout tab. I do say, or it shows that it's paper space. That is where I am currently at on the status bar. Additionally, I have a layout ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and click on that tab. Again, I have layouts. Here's where I could create new layouts. Here's where I adjusted paper space, or sorry, page setup. And then the next one, layout viewports. I've got rectangular. Drop it down. I have polygonal as well as object. I then have named, clipped, lock, unlock. I'm not going to mess with those probably, but this rectangular here, let me go ahead and delete this, and let's go ahead and do another one. Rectangular. It's asking for specify starting point, starting corner, first corner, and then second corner. Now, you see that there are objects inside of here because on my model space I actually have some objects that I've been creating. Here I'll do a ZE for zoom extents, and this is everything I have. Additionally, none of my layers are turned off or frozen, and so whenever you create a layout or a viewport on a layout, it will automatically zoom to extents in that viewport. Now I've just adjusted the grips, and so that's changed. I can move it up here, but which is not a big deal. But when you do create a viewport, now I'll do it again, layout, rectangular, and I'll click anywhere, doesn't matter, right there. I'll right click, do it again. I'll do a real small one right here. And so again, notice inside of there, zoom extents is, and or zoom all is, automatically fills up your window. Let me go ahead and do another one. I'll do a real obscure one here. Let's do real tall. So zoom extents, it's going to put it to the width here as opposed to, well, that's pretty ridiculous. I'll erase that. I'll erase that one as well. This is good enough for now. Now, you may have seen me double click inside of here. Now pay attention, I have a crosshair no matter where I'm at. If I double click inside of here, my crosshair is now restricted to inside of this window, inside this viewport. The status bar, you should notice, no longer says paper, it now says model. Also, when I come outside of that viewport, I no longer have a crosshair. I'm back to my normal cursor arrowhead or arrow. From here I can go from one viewport to another, so on and so forth. I can pan, I can zoom in and out. Notice that these others do not. I'll zoom in real close to that circle there, click from one to the other, and I can zoom out here, and this one I can zoom way out, so on and so forth. So again, now to get back out of here, I have my cursor. I double clicked to get inside of it. I can double click to get out. As well, here where it says now paper, I can click this and it puts me into model space. Additionally, I can click model on the status bar and it puts me back into paper space. Now, one thing I definitely want you to understand is these are not copies of your drawings. These are basically multiple windows to see the same view that exists in your model tab. So for example, as I hover over the blue circle here, you see that it's highlighting in all three viewports. Additionally, if I click on it and I do right click for erase, it is gone in each of these. Additionally, if I come back to my model tab, the blue circle is gone. So again, viewports are windows that look into or look back at your model space, your drawing area, your graphics or drawing area. Additionally, double clicking here, getting into a viewport on your status bar. Now, this gets to be a little tricky. Let me get out of it, and I'm going to zoom into this text right here. I cannot select it, by the way. I'm currently in, as you see down here on the status bar, I'm in paper space. If I double click, I'm in model space. I see it here, and I also know that because I can now select this and change it to, make sure I'm not accidentally spelling something inappropriate. And so I've changed this here. Now I zoom back out to get back to see the other viewports, and it doesn't appear that I can. Why is that? Well, again, I'm in model space. I am inside one of these viewports. The viewport exists. The issue is that it is greater than, it's kind of outside my graphics window, my drawing area. And so I can't move my crosshair outside of that viewport to double click. And so zooming in and out, like you've seen, I'm still in my viewport. I'm just now zooming in and out what it would be considered the model space. A couple things to fix this. One, if you do accidentally do it, undo, do a Control Z for undo, and or come up here on your quick access toolbar to get back where you were, and make sure that's right there is where I made the change. Now, a couple ways. The first way is if you can remember that you are in a viewport, zoomed way in, then just simply click on model here, and then you can zoom back out. Okay. Another way, here I'm double clicked, I'm inside model space, P space for paper space, hit enter, and I am now, as you see down here on the status bar, back in paper space. Okay. Another thing is, if you know for sure that this is pretty much where you want your view for the model, whatever it is, actually I want it to be zoomed in right there for this viewport. Down here on the status bar, come across some of the settings here, and I get to where there is a number. Now this number deals with the zoom factor for this window. I'll talk about that in a minute. But back to icons, there is a padlock, and it says selected viewports are not locked. If I click that, turn it blue, that means it's locked. Now I'm still in model space, but if I zoom out and or in, or if I pan, notice that it is locked and it is not adjusting, where on the contrary, if I do it here, now notice this one is not locked, so zooming in and out or pan does the same operations that it was doing a little bit ago that I would expect it to do. Same thing here, this one is not locked, but this one is. So that is a way to somewhat protect the view, exactly how you have it set up, the way it looks. And at the same time, if I change my mind, I want to unlock it, then I can unlock it and make any necessary changes. Now with it locked, I can, out in paper space, manipulate this again, as changing these grips does not change the location or the zoom or anything of the items in the viewport. So the grips are separate. You're out in paper space here. Another thing is, I'm going to double click here. Notice that you have the view cube. Here I click, I have the view cube. Same thing here, and their relative size their size is somewhat relative to the size of your viewport. Now I'm going to lock these so it makes it a little easier going in and out, so I don't have to stop and redo the video. I'm now in this viewport, and as I zoom in a little bit, I've got the view cube here. Now notice I cannot select it. I cannot mess with it or alter it like I did in model space. I'm supposed to be able to. The reason why I currently cannot is because I have this viewport locked. Now, unlocking it and hovering over it, you see there is the home icon. You can select on the view cube the corners, the edges, rotate it, which again, for 2D drafting, this is not something we would do. What is nice about this, and if I zoom out a little bit, what is real nice about this is these two arrows, this top and right arrow. I might want to rotate this view. This one here, I'll unlock it, and for whatever reason, I might want this one rotated this way, and this one will leave as is, exactly the way it is. Now, I do actually do this often in architectural drafting, doing floor plans, building sections, wall sections, elevations. Not at all uncommon to change the orientation of one view from another. Mechanical drafting, not saying that it is definitely possible. I can't really say that it's something I've done often. Again, just so that you know that that feature is there. And again, if you want, see if I go up to view, and here I can turn that off. Now, notice this setting here, as I jump into this viewport, it's back on. Come back to here, it's off. Same with your UCS icon. And again, as you rotate, this is something you really want to pay attention to. Positive X is now upward. Positive Y is now to the left. It's been rotated, so has the UCS user coordinate system icon. So the only other thing I'm going to mention at this time is basically I'm going to go ahead and delete these real quick. I'm going to type in the command, and notice there is no alias, otherwise it'd have a command there in parentheses as well. V for view, VP for V point. That's something in model space only, and that's not something we're going to get into. VPOR, viewports, is the command. Hit enter, you get this window here. Now, there are named viewports, new viewports. This sometimes is a real quick, easy way. A single viewport, such as a rectangle, two horizontal, vertical, one right, left. Here, I'll just go ahead and select this one. There are some others to choose from. And if I hit OK, and I will go from here to there, and there they are. It just automatically, it's just kind of a pre-formatted way of putting those viewports on your sheet per whatever window you want to identify. But not real common. You get a little bit more familiar with these, and these will pretty much be self-explanatory. So this time, that's enough for this video.